Just gonna get set up everywhere. We live on. Okay, we can go live on Facebook. I don't love how I'm looking on. Oh, let's bring this down a bit. I'm just gonna bring this up. All right, still working on those some teething issues, just getting set up. Apologies to everyone on YouTube and everyone who watches this back who I still scroll through the first 10 seconds whilst I'm getting set up everywhere. But yeah, live on Instagram and TikTok now. We should be live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. So that's all good. Um, Cool. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Back for another live session. A little later than scheduled. Apologies. Had some consultations before this, and when a consultation goes over, I have to finish. So we ended up going about an hour and a half over across the two consultations. So that's why it's a little bit delayed. So apologies for that. But we're here now. It's going to be a good session. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So I will just say there has been some connection issues, and I'm using my mobile hotspot across all four. So if it does drop out or if there are connection issues, then please do let me know in the comments, and we'll try and troubleshoot the best we can. We've got a few different servers to play with and Wi-Fi's and datas, so we'll see how it goes. We're in Malaysia right now. Last day in Langkawi. Then we move on to Ipoh. So it's been a long day. It's been a busy day. It's 1:30. But we do lives every Sunday and Wednesday, so a live is what you're gonna get. So yeah, someone asked what topic is it today. I thought today it might be quite good to do the topic on Christmas gifting, and this is for people who we serve, well, we serve as a business a lot of ethnic communities, a lot of the Black community, a lot of the South Asian communities, Southeast Asian communities, African communities, a lot of different communities, but mostly ethnic communities. And the problem is, I'll say it's a problem because it is a problem. There's a lot of pride in these communities. So when someone is going through something, particularly health related, when someone is sick, when someone does need that help, they're not always the most forthcoming to ask for it. And that can also lead to problems further down the line. So this session is about how do you gift someone a herb if they haven't necessarily told you they've been diagnosed with something? If someone comes to me and said, yes, my thyroid levels are elevated, or hypothyroid, or, I've been diagnosed with this liver condition, or, I've got been diagnosed with gastroenteritis, then okay, that's a starting point to work with. That is, we can work with that. But if you've got a loved one, if you've got a family member, if you've got a parent, if you've got a friend who you can see isn't their old self, you can see they're struggling, but you haven't necessarily got the full panel to say, okay, this is exactly what the problem is. You can't ask them the questions to even start to figure it out because they might shut you down, or you just don't feel like it's suitable to ask those questions. Then what this session is about is how can you observationally go on the right track? If someone has a fatigue issue, what are the best herbs for just fatigue generally? If you've noticed someone not quite as sharp as they used to be, maybe they're suffering from a bit of brain fog, maybe the memory's starting to go. What can we do for that situation? If you know someone that's always complaining about catching a cold or being sick or having the flu, what can we do for that person? If you've known someone who used to be, really athletic and they've put on a bit of weight recently, they're complaining about it, can't seem to shift it, they're trying, but it's just not working, that unexplained weight gain, what can we do in those situations? These are the types of situations I want to be talking about where you can get them something, you can gift them something, and you don't even necessarily need to say what it is. Just say it's healthy, and you'll know you're doing your bit in terms of helping them with the information you'll get here today. So that's what this session is designed for. A bit of a festive session. I should have had my Christmas jumper on. I don't have one here, but yeah, that's what I thought might be quite useful today. And then we'll get back to, I think we'll probably do an ADHD session on Sunday. I want to put a full presentation together for that to really talk through it in detail. But yeah, we'll see. We've got Jade here today as well, helping. She's JD's Tooldrobe on TikTok. Seen some of you interacting with her already there. She is Josiah underscore Matty on Instagram. And then she'll also be monitoring the YouTube and Facebook comments for anything that comes through there. Yeah, it's going to be a bit more of a free flowing session today. We'll probably be on for about 45 minutes. But yeah, I'll talk through kind of those more general topics that I just mentioned. And then if, oh, AI summary, that's new on TikTok, kind of. And then if anyone has any specific questions, if anyone has anyone that they would love to get a gift for, but they're just not quite sure what to get, or they're not quite even sure what the or they're not quite sure what would be best for them, then now is the best time to get your Q&A in, get your sessions in, get your questions in, and I can help there too. Thank you. Someone said my hat looks great. Don't usually wear a hat out here. Haircuts are hard to find. So we'll be back here in a few weeks without the hat soon. But yeah, okay. Let's get started. Actually, we haven't done the housekeeping yet. Teresa from Australia. Glad to have you on. Quite late there. It's like 5 a.m. now. So thank you for being here at that time. Okay, just some housekeeping points. Endemy, please, what is the best way to get rid of skin that looks like eczema fungi? So yeah, we'll get to that one first. I don't know if that's for you or for a gift, but either way, it's useful information. I will answer first. Just in terms of some housekeeping, we do have the Christmas set. Which actually I've just seen the question, what gift sets are you offering from your store? So we do have the Christmas gift set that has launched last week or earlier this week. I can't remember. The weeks go so fast. But the Christmas that has launched, that has the moringa, that has the shilajit, that has the black seed oil. It's got the electric whisk in there as well. The reason we made the Christmas gift set is that it's universal for anyone to get the benefits of, whether that's a pick me up, whether that's, I'm doing everything and I just want that extra 1%, whether that is someone who's dealing with a chronic condition. That kit is a really good comprehensive healer to get them on the right track. And the herbs that are in that kit are quite diverse in terms of getting people used to natural supplements. So, if there's someone that's used to popping pills, if there's someone that says, oh, natural supplements don't work, or the whole process of natural supplements cumbersome, then that is a really good kit because it's not too long to prepare it. It's diverse in terms of the moringa seeds. You pop them, the black seed oil, you put it under the tongue, and you can start to kind of get used to the tastes of natural herbs as well that way. And then the shilajit, you can mix that with water. So yeah, it's a great entry point to get used to natural herbs and overcome that initial hurdle. It's also really good for people who are experienced with the herbs as well, because they will experience the benefits. So yeah, that's the Christmas gift set. I saw your message. I'm going to show it. I don't actually have the herbs with me I have the black seed oil, but not next to me. So I don't have it in front of me. It is available on the website though, and you can see it there. Our consultations on offer over Christmas too. So there's no special offer on the consultations for Christmas, but I will be taking a week break over the Christmas, so from Christmas to New Year. So I think it might be fully booked up for the rest of the year now. So you can get consultations booked in for January. They are all directly with me. Yeah, that's why there's no consultations over Christmas, but they are directly with me. We have 3 different options. They are still very affordable. To be honest, the price may need to increase in the new year just because they are very cheap and they are all with me directly. And we do the lives twice a week. I do consultations 3 days a week, even whilst traveling. So Yeah, I'd say just buy it if you are interested in getting a consultation. I would recommend to buy it now, because I've retained the price as it where it is for as long as I can. But yeah, thank you, Shaden. Is that first name and surname? But yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate the message. Um, so, all right. Yeah. So skeptical she wasn't going to get the order, but was really happy that it was authentic. So yeah, thank you for supporting. Um, Housekeeping. I got sidetracked. So yeah, the Christmas gift set has launched. We are also offering a buy one get one 50% off on the healing kits. So that applies to the blood builder kit, the thyroid kit, the liver cleanse kit, the herpes kit, the um, what am I missing? Diabetes kit, the heavy metals kit, and the ADHD and autism kit, which we've just launched as well. Yeah, the ADHD kit and autism kit has been super popular since it launched last week. We will be putting more content in and around how to manage that and how to get the best results with the kit as well. Because, as I say with all the kits, the herbs can only do so much. You know, they're not magic pills, they're not magic beans. They can only do so much. They do work well alongside a comprehensive healing protocol, and that means lifestyle, that means diet as well as the herbs. So I have started writing guides to go alongside all of the healing kits. So that is launched with the herpes kit. It's launched with the fibroids kit. I didn't mention that one. It's also with the ADHD kit. So do read the guides when you get them because that is the best way to get the results. But that kit has launched and that is available in the buy one get one 50% offer. We don't have a pneumonia kit, but what we do have is a respiratory rescue kit. Another one I forgot to say. So that does help with pneumonia. It does go after the bacterial issue of pneumonia. It does help to repair the fibrosis in the lungs as well. It does help to expel the excess mucus that can come from the pneumonia as well. So, yeah, it's not the pneumonia kit, but we do have a respiratory rescue kit, which is available buy one get one 50% off as well. Um, okay, let's get into it. Any other housekeeping points? Or no? Okay. So yeah. Oh, and then just to say as well, everyone who has applied for the job opportunity, we are also reviewing that as well. Expect to hear back later this week. Yeah, expect to hear back later this week. Um, Thank you for everyone who has applied. There are quite a lot of applications. So, yes, we are just going through to make sure it's the right opportunity for everyone who's applied. Um, Abdelinho, please do respond to my messages. I've just one simple question. Yeah, if you've got a question before you want to purchase, I'd say just go through the website on the chat function on the website. Honestly, we have too many DMs to respond to everything. We are trying to implement an AI solution just to help manage the inbox, filter out the spam. The spam is really annoying and it stops us from being able to answer the important questions. But honestly, we actually got the numbers back. I think it's in the last month there was 67,000 DMs on new chats across Insta, and that doesn't even include TikTok. That was just Instagram and Facebook. Um, so it's about 2,700 new chats a day, which is not sustainable for obvious reasons. Annoyingly, a lot of those is spam. That stops us from getting to the people that actually, need the help. But what I will say is, yeah, we're trying to implement the AI solution to help just filter out the time wasters, and the spam, and then the AI can hopefully help with first line questions like, simple things like where's my order, or just the standard stuff, and then we can actually get involved with the more deeper, I've got this issue, this issue, this issue, what can I do, that kind of stuff. So that's the plan. So if you are getting if you have DM'd and you got a dodgy DM or dodgy response from AI over the last couple of weeks, I do apologize. There is a bit of a teething getting up to speed process, but we are working on that, and it's improving, so we'll get there. Okay, I think that is all the housekeeping out of the way. What can we do for eczema? That was the first question. So, how can we deal with eczema? So, first, we need to understand what causes eczema. Eczema is an issue of Epstein-Barr virus attacking the liver, feeding on mercury predominantly. The liver tries to protect the organs, the core organs, so it pushes the virus out into your lymphatic system. When the virus gets to your lymphatic system, it then feeds on metals there, and then it will move down the nerve endings, as herpetic viruses love to do, and that's what will cause the itching, that's what will cause the scarring. So, what we need to do is knock down the underlying Epstein-Barr virus issue. We need to get the lymphatic fluid moving. Black seed oil does both of those. Sea moss as a topical treatment is great for going after the Epstein-Barr virus there as well. So sea moss, black seed oil are really powerful. Oil of oregano is another one you can use, diluted down to make a topical treatment. And that's really what's highly effective for eczema. So yeah, in keeping with today's topic, if you know someone who is dealing with bad eczema and maybe they're on their anti-steroid creams, so not anti-steroid, they're on the steroid creams, and it's not really working, or they're going back and forth with different things, but nothing's really working. Then yes, that is the protocol I would recommend. Not licorice root, oil of oregano, black seed oil, and sea moss. You can apply that topically. You can ingest the black seed oil and sea moss as well. That's the best thing I'd recommend for the eczema, as from a gifting perspective. If it's you dealing with it, there's more that you can do from a perspective. You do want to reduce the acidity. You do want to get rid of the eggs. You do want to get rid of the dairy. You do want to get rid of the soy. You do want to up the green leafy vegetables. You do want to up the root vegetables. All of those things will help as well. Okay. Just trying to see. Okay, we are at the bottom there. Cool. So if you're someone who has a loved one and you've noticed they are fatigued, more tired, they don't have the same energy they used to have. They don't have the same thirst for life, you might say, as they used to have. Maybe they've lost it. Just that, get up and go. What can we do to give them that spark back this Christmas? What can we gift them? What can we that doesn't necessarily say you've lost your spark, because we don't always want to say that as well. So what I would recommend most is the Shilajit. Shilajit every day, because Shilajit is the great fixer. Now, the tricky thing with herbs normally, if someone has got an issue as broad as fatigue, we don't necessarily know what's caused it. It could be viral, could be bacterial, could be heavy metals, could be stress, could be not eating well, could be not sleeping well, could be a mineral deficiency, could be yeah, I'm just about seven things there. Could be lots of different things. What the Shilajit does, and why it helps most people dealing with fatigue, it addresses, five out of those seven. It does enhance the mitochondrial energy. It does decalcify the pineal gland so that you can produce more melatonin to sleep better. It does enhance your coenzyme Q10 so that you can get more nutrients out of all the food you are going to eat. It does contain 84 different minerals. So therefore, if you do have a magnesium deficiency, if you are iron deficient, it will help. If you are anemic, it can help you get more more iron from your non-heme sources. All of these different situations, if you are hormonally imbalanced, the Shilajit will correct that as well. So across the board, the Shilajit helps. No downsides either, as long as it's properly filtered, properly processed Shilajit, no downsides. You can take that every single day if you want. So that is why I would recommend the Shilajit if you've noticed someone's just lost that spark. Because we might not know everything going on in their private life, but the Shilajit is a great way to start addressing that. If you wanted to bolster that program a little bit, moringa seeds is what I would add to that. If you want to bolster, ashwagandha is what I would add to that. But the Shilajit by itself is more than enough. If it's a stocking filler, fantastic. If it's a gift to add into another gift, fantastic. Very versatile gift is the Shilajit. So E asked, why does the product come in small quantity? So Shilajit is super potent, and this is something I didn't actually realize before I really studied natural herbs, because we're so used to working on a macro basis. When we're talking about nutrients, it's usually macronutrients, carbohydrates, protein, fiber, fats. These are all measured in grams. So if you're talking about protein, you're like, well, one chicken breast is giving me my 40 grams, or is it 8 grams? I forget, 20 grams, depends on the chicken. The reason I don't track that is because protein is not important in healing. In my line of work, protein is not important. I'll just caveat and say that. But when you're counting calories, when you're counting your macros, we get used to working in grams. What we understand when we're talking about healing, we need to work on a cellular level. We need to work on the micro level, micrograms. That's what we're dealing with. And micrograms are, yes, a million times smaller. I was going to say 1,000, but that's a milligram. So a microgram is a million times smaller than a gram. So, when you ask me why is it in such small quantities, Shilajit is not a million times smaller than a chicken, but what we're measuring is measured in a million times smaller. We measure iron in micrograms. We measure vitamin B12 in micrograms. We measure iodine in micrograms, even nanograms in that one. We measure vitamin D in micrograms. So, when you understand how little of the substance is required to actually carry all the nutrients you need, that is why one moringa seed can give you 84 different minerals in a useful quantity. That is why 1 tablespoon of sea moss can give you all the useful micronutrients you need. That is why 1 drop of shilajit can give you all the useful nutrients you need, because it's literally a million times smaller than what we're used to looking at. That blew my mind when I kind of first understood it. And what really put it into perspective for me is when I was creating a vitamin D product, and I was trying to back solve and say, well, how much vitamin D do we actually need in each drop? And it's literally 1,000th of a milliliter is what you need to get enough. So it's like you have this 30 milliliter product and there's literally 1 drop of vitamin D in there. That, and just because you have to be able to dilute it to actually make it measurable, that's why you need so much oil in there. So when you understand that, you realize how condensed these micronutrients can be. So that's why our shilajit is only 15 grams. That's why one daily serving is a peppercorn size amount. And that is why people feel the difference with the peppercorn size amount. They physically feel the difference within 3 days. That's why you will go from sleeping terribly to a great night's sleep, because it works on decalcifying that pineal gland fast. It works on optimizing that mitochondria fast. That's what we need to understand.
Someone asked about more about you and how you came to naturopath. Yeah.
Okay. Thought to steal a watermelon then, just all in my face. About me, how I became a naturopath. Sorry, bad time to take a bite. Thought the question was going to be longer. My journey is atypical. It's not a normal journey. My background is actually, let me finish off the answer to that question first, because I saw E asked, how would you help women who experience fibro? Okay, I'll answer that one after. And I'll answer it in the form of a gift as well. So in terms, just to quick, my background, my journey. It's atypical. I didn't go to medical school. I didn't go to university to study health or naturopathy or anything like that. I actually went to university to study economics. My background was finance. I worked in finance for 5 years. I enjoyed finance. I'm not one of these, I hated finance, needed a way out. I enjoy seeing how the world works, and that's why I enjoyed finance. That's why I enjoyed economics. That's why I enjoy health. I like seeing how society works, and everything is a mirror of itself. Society works the same way the body works, which is the same way the universe works, which is the same way macro physics works, which is the same way microphysics works. And when we understand as above, so below, we can really understand things in a much deeper level. We can add the spirituality into things. We can add this. We can make the science make sense, and that's the way I approach it. I try to take everything in. Um, I look at everything that works, whether that's hypnotherapy, whether that is big pharma, whether that is natural herbs, whether that is deep breathing, whether that is Chinese medicine, African medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, Dr. Sebi's teachings, you know, Anthony William. All information is useful information, and that's how I've kind of crafted my methodology, my approach to kind of, I don't like to put a name on it, but I just call it my approach. And ultimately, if it gets results, that's useful. So my background, as I say, finance, economics, and then started the business from my kind of economics background. Dad brought back some moringa seeds. I ate the moringa seeds. It worked for me, so I thought maybe they'll work for other people. Started selling the moringa seeds. People came back. Oh, this actually works. Fantastic. And then they would ask me, oh, but what do you, what do you have anything for brain fog? I said, well, moringa doesn't really work for that. Oh, do you have anything for, I mean, it's difficult for me to do this because moringa works for a lot of things, but do you have anything for, fibroids? No, I don't have anything for that. So then I would go away and research these issues. And I have to say that, we get 2,000 messages a day now, but even then at the start, maybe tens of messages a day, but enough to build the knowledge, enough to go away and research and think, okay, what's going on here? What is that? What is this thing? That was the first kind of 2 years. And then it was, okay, now people aren't just asking me, do you have this herb? People are actually starting to ask about health issues, health concerns. I need to be able to upskill myself to answer these concerns. So it's all been born out of necessity, to be honest. And then it was, okay, I find myself answering a lot of these questions based off researching all those different sources I mentioned before. You know, I want to make myself more credible. So that's what led to me doing the naturopathy qualification. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I learned more from researching from the Q&As, answering questions, than I did the naturopathy course. That was just to, dot the I's, cross the T's, and, some people like to see a certification when you're talking about things. But honestly, the self-research taught me more. And then after that, I did a master herbalism course, and that was a good course. I do tell most people that ask me how do I get into naturopathy. The master herbalism course is a useful course to teach you how to understand, how to administer herbs, how the contraindications work, what parts of the herbs to use, the different active compounds in the herbs. And this is where I would say what separates even me 5 years ago. What a lot of things I hear people say on social media, the social media gurus, versus someone who's done the research and actually, has gone that level deeper. And I'm not going to say I know everything. I'm always learning, I'm always researching, and I'd like to think the way I talk about these issues in 5 years' time will be a lot more nuanced, advanced, and qualified than I am talking about it today. Because I'm always on a growth journey, I'm always learning. But you can definitely see I can definitely see the difference when someone's just heard something and regurgitating it versus someone who's actually understands how the body works, the comprehensive system, comprehensively. Because what happens with a lot of people, and I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but what happens with a lot of people, they study hormones, and then or they become a hormone specialist, and then everything is a hormone issue. Or they will become a parasites expert, they don't actually know anything about parasites, to be honest, real parasites, but they've probably done a parasite cleanse, and then now they think they're a parasite expert, and then everything is parasites' fault. That's not true either. Or you'll find people that go through they'll find people that talk about the heavy metals as the cause of anything. Everything is just metals. Again, not true. And that's the problem when you specialize too early. You start to see everything through the lens of that thing you specialized in. And we need to get broader. We need to look away from that. And that's my thing. I like to understand what the underlying pathogen is, put a theory to it, test it. Is it improving? If not, let's change the diagnostic. That's my approach. So a bit of a long-winded answer there, but hopefully that gives you a bit more background and clarity as to how I like to go about things, how I like to carry out the consultations, how I like to, marry up the mass approach of healing we take to the healing kits, and that's why I put so much time into the healing kits because there's, when we try to put something like bloating under one umbrella, there's so many different causes. When we try to put things like energy under one umbrella, so many different causes that I need to try and create a kit that I need to understand all the different causes of these issues, and then I need to try and create a kit that's going to help the most people most efficiently with the most well tolerated herbs by most people. Now that's a challenge, and that's a challenge I love, and it's a challenge I enjoy. And then there's also that's on the macro level, and again, as above, so below. On the micro level, when it's a one-to-one sessions, we need to work on, okay, now this person has the bloating and the energy issue and the nerve pain and the chronic dysbiosis, and we need to put a kit together for that. So that's going to be more personalized. That's moving away from the off-the-shelf solution into a more bespoke offering. So that's why I'd say, if you're someone who, yeah, I've got a thyroid issue, no other issues, clean bill of health outside of that, then look, get the thyroid kit. If you're someone who has type 2 diabetes, no other health concerns, no neuropathy, no complications from the diabetes, look, you don't need to book, well, you'd benefit from booking a consultation because then I can bolster out the lifestyle factors and all the things and all the mistakes you're probably making based off the social media videos you're watching. But get the diabetes kit as a starting point. If it's 3 months, you go back, you get tested, and your A1C hasn't dropped, then you probably want the consultation, and then we can go through the lifestyle. But for a lot of people, by the time they've come to the natural healing journey anyway, they've done a lot of the cleanup of their diet. They're no longer eating the pork. They're no longer, eating cakes and biscuits and all the obvious things. It's more the eggs, it's the dairy, it's the sneaky ones that get into people's diet under the guise of this is healthy, it's building strong bones, it's giving you your full protein set. All of these things that send people the wrong way, and that's what we tend to try and clarify in the consultations. And that's how we, no, that's the big driver of results, to be honest. Taking out the troublemakers people think are doing themselves a favor with, and we see fantastic results. So, okay.
Sorry. No, no, go on.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Jade. What do you have a question?
Um, Shide and Leaf, I think that is.
Mm.
We for purchase of the protocol guide, so I bought things separately that add up to a kit due to budget.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't get the kit at once, but I would purchase the protocol separate for like a kit.
So the question is, sorry, I missed the question.
So the guides that you offer essentially.
Oh,
So they bought products separately.
right. So we offer the guides if you buy the product separately. Is that the question?
Yeah, so they bought the products separately. They've got them now. They're in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So they're asking about the guide. Was it available to buy?
No, the guides aren't available to buy because the guides aren't written to make money. That's not what the objectives of the guide is. I wrote the guides to help you unlock the best results with the herbs. As I said, the herbs aren't magic pills, they're not sensu beans, they don't work in isolation for deep chronic issues. If you're looking to buy a healing kit, it's most likely that you have a deeper chronic issue. So the point of the guide is to help you unlock the best results, not to turn a profit. So if you bought an altered version of the healing kit, maybe you've already got one of the herbs, so you didn't need to buy all the herbs in the kit, or you are intolerant to one of the herbs, or budget constraints, so you didn't want to get all of the herbs. That's also why I tend to do level 1, 2, and 3 for most kits. It's only the ADHD kit that doesn't have a level 1, 2, and 3, mainly because
Menopause.
menopause, fine, yeah, that's not a healing kit. So I do actually have a menopause guide, to be honest, which I wrote a while ago. So we can send that over. It's a short answer to your question. If you do have, if you're buying a healing kit and you're thinking, I want to get a different version of the healing kit, I haven't written healing guides for all of the kits yet, but for the ones I have, I'm happy to send those over. But yeah, I do have a menopause guide. So if you just send an email, so we have your email address, we can email that over. And that's not a problem. As I said, they're not there to make money. They're there to help you get the best results. So that's completely fine. E has asked, how would you help women? Oh, so that's the same question. Yeah. So
What do you have for overactive thyroid?
okay, overactive thyroid. I will answer that one after E's question about fibroids. Cool. So when it comes to fibroids, I actually did a whole session on this last live. So I'd recommend going to Instagram and watching that session. It was about and literally an hour and a half talking about fibroids, endometriosis, PCOS, PMDD. Really interactive session. So I'd recommend watching that. Let me make sure I got the full question. What would I do for fibroids, right? How would you help women who experience fibroids bloating? Yeah, so fibroids slash bloating, fibroids cause bloating, so they may just be the same issue. If you have separate bloating, that can also be a thing. That's usually a bacterial issue. You might have H. pylori, you might have Streptococcus. I guess if you don't have digestive issues, it's most likely just bloating from the fibroid. So with the fibroids, yes, you want to knock down heavy metals, you want to knock down pathogens, you want to knock down exogenous hormones. There's a lot of things you can do from a diet perspective to help with that. I've written a guide for that one. Does come with our fibroid kit. We do have a fibroid kit. So that got the that's got raspberry leaf because it helps to knock down the exogenous hormones. It's got the donquay to help balance your internal hormones. It's got the black seed oil to go after the underlying Epstein-Barr or Streptococcus issue, and it's also got ashwagandha as a really powerful reproductive support herb and helps to balance cortisol. So that's the herb that's the bundle I would recommend. We have a level 1, 2, and 3 for that. If it's a small fibroid, I'd probably say level 2 would be fine. If it's multiple fibroids or a larger fibroid bigger than 15 centimeters, then I would say level 3 would be best. If it's more than 15 centimeters, I would also recommend the spirulina with that to help knock down the heavy metals that might be contributing to the issue. But yeah, we have a fibroids kit, should be available on TikTok Shop. You can also get it from the website because it's buy one, get one 50% off. Even if you don't plan on gifting it, I would say with the fibroids, it does take, between 1 and 2 months, you should see an improvement in symptoms. So that might be the bloating in that case. And then 3 to 6 months is when I'd expect to see shrinking of the fibroid. So, with that offer, I would say take advantage, get it from the website, and you can even just get 3 months worth or 4 months worth of fibroids kit for the price of 2. That's what I would do. But yeah. And Jade, the next question was about thyroid. Yes, overactive thyroid. So hyperthyroidism, are often in the form of Graves as well. We do have a thyroid kit. Now, a lot of people ask, oh, but you've got CMOS and ashwagandha in your thyroid kit. That's bad for overactive thyroid. And there's a lot of confusion around this. A lot of confusion. And as I say, my approach is a blend of different sources of information, and then I choose what I think makes the most sense. So an overactive thyroid, what causes thyroid issues? Epstein-Barr virus causes thyroid issues, and radiation can cause thyroid issues as well. If you've had loads of x-rays, if you've been exposed to excess radiation, that can cause. But in most cases, it's going to be the Epstein-Barr virus. Now, why does it cause hyperthyroidism? Well, the thyroid tries to encase the virus by, similar to endometriosis, it grows a wall outside the virus, and that can result in a goiter, that can result in hyperthyroidism, that can result in Graves' disease. But essentially, it's new thyroid tissue to encase the virus. That new thyroid tissue produces thyroid hormones. That thyroid hormone then is overactive, overactive hyperthyroidism. So why is treatment to block iodine? So iodine is involved in creating thyroid hormones. So if you block the iodine, you don't create the hormones, you don't get the thyroid storm, you don't get the overactive thyroid, problem solved. Sort of. The problem is when you block iodine, you also block your defenses against the underlying Epstein-Barr virus. So even though you don't produce hormones in the same way, the viral issue can still get worse. Now, when that viral issue manifests and grows out of the thyroid, then you get brain fog. Then you get potentially breast cancer. Then you get potentially rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, fibromyalgia. All of these different issues can be caused from letting the Epstein-Barr virus run riot because you think you've solved the problem when you just stop creating the hormones because you've artificially blocked your iodine. When you block the iodine, you don't allow zinc to catalyze in your thyroid. And then if you don't have zinc, you can't knock down the Epstein-Barr virus. And then again, it's allowed to run loose. So that's why I still recommend iodine. Now, when you do have iodine and you do have the zinc, what can that do? It can kill Epstein-Barr virus. When you kill Epstein-Barr virus, what can it do? It can cause inflammation. Again, inflammation of what? The thyroid. Inflammation means more thyroid tissue, and that can create more thyroid hormones. So when medical science sees, oh well, look, there's an increase in thyroid hormone when we add iodine to the mix or add excess iodine to the mix, because they do say moderate iodine is helpful. When you add that excess iodine to the mix, then they say, oh well, yeah, well we see the thyroid hormones increase when you add iodine, so you need to stay away from that. Without realizing what's actually happened is the iodine is that is not a word you want to say after talking for 4 hours at 2 a.m. The iodine has catalyzed the zinc, and the die-off is what's causing the increase in thyroid hormones. So we do want the die-off. We do want to kill the Epstein-Barr virus. That's why I recommend the iodine. So the short answer to your question, what would I recommend for an overactive thyroid, is our thyroid kit. And if you are experiencing a worsening in symptoms once you are taking the CMOS and the ashwagandha, I would recommend lowering your dosage down. So you don't need to stop it altogether, but just lower that dosage down. So you want to kill it off more slowly, so the inflammation is easier for your lymphatic system to deal with, is what I'd recommend there. Okay. What about if someone is putting on weight and they are struggling to lose it? And you don't want to be the one to say, here's some weight loss pills for Christmas. You don't want to be the one to say, we might not even be the one to bring it up, but they might complain about it all the time, or they say, I'm trying, even in another case, I'm trying to lose weight, I'm going for runs, I'm walking, I'm doing all the things, and it's not working. What can I do? In that situation, what you can do is gift them the herbs that can help to shed excess water weight. These are the herbs that are going to stimulate the lymphatic system. These are the herbs that are actually scientifically, I'm not anti-science. These are the herbs that are going to help, scientific studies show whilst exercising, they enhance weight loss. These would be, we actually have a weight loss kit on the website as well. But these would be ashwagandha. Studies show when you take ashwagandha alongside exercise, it actually stabilizes cortisol, which moderates insulin, which helps you to not hold fat around the belly area, burns that fat. Also enhances mitochondrial function as well, which helps. Black seed oil is the other herb that can really help with weight loss as well. And you don't need to tell them this is the weight loss kit. You can just say, look, because it's true, this is really good for stress, it's really good for knocking down bacterial load, it's really good for water retention, it's really good for brain function, because it is true. Really good for minerals. So the black seed oil is the thymoquinone in their studies show, again, that helps with weight loss. And I mean healthy weight loss. I don't just mean shedding pounds quickly like a fat metabolizer pill. CMOS. is the other herb I'd recommend for this as well. So it contains fucoxanthin, the bioactive one of the bioactive compounds in there, really effective in helping to enhance weight loss whilst exercising. So yes, that's another helpful herb in the case of someone who is, you know, uh, oh, one second. I feel like I've just lost my oh no, here it is. Yeah, really helpful in the case of someone who is talking about losing weight, but you're not quite sure how to manage that situation. What about, oh, so did someone ask about type 2 diabetes, Jade?
They asked a question. Can someone who has diabetes recover from herbal remedies? Recover with, sorry. Can someone which has diabetes recover from the herbal remedies? I did bring that right. But I guess, yeah, you know, the question.
Yes. um, yes, 100%. And I made quite a few videos about this in the last couple of days, talking about, hey Nissa, talking about how you can reverse diabetes a natural way, how I've seen people struggle with diabetes for 10 years plus, told it's an irreversible condition, you're just gonna have to manage it for the rest of your life, there's nothing you can do about it. And then within a few months on the right program, that A1C drops. And this isn't even me taking credit for it and saying, you know, I'm the genius who figured out how to reverse type 2 diabetes. Not at all. A lot of the times I'll speak people who are coming on a consultation will say, I used to have diabetes and you know, I cleaned up my act, and then you know, I was a high 6 and on the A1C scale, and I got it down to low 5s within a year. You know, I see, I've heard that, you know, at least 5 times in the last 6 months. It's not it's not an uncommon story. It's not that the person was, you know, doing some super dieting. It's not that they had the magic milkshake that unlocked the results. It's not that they were taking 15 different supplements in the perfect order every day. It's not that they were, you know, starving themselves of all carbohydrates and only eating a few strips of meat every day. None of these things. They were eating pretty normal, just eating the right foods. You know, and sometimes they weren't even taking any herbs, but where they were taking the right herbs, and it comes down. You know, when we understand the body is always trying to heal, and as long as you're not even, you know, what they say a lot is you need to put your body in the right conditions to heal. Yes, that is true. But what's more true is um, as long as you're not putting your body in a position to lose, more often than not, it's going to win. As long as you're not making your body's job harder than it needs to be, it's gonna win. And when you're eating the right types of food, you know, the green leafy vegetables, the root vegetable carbohydrates, you're not overburdening your liver with fat, you're not adding more stress with fat and adrenaline to burden and poison the pancreas. When you are, you know, you're not fasting, putting more pressure on your pancreas again. When you are just taking the right herbs. You know, you're doing your milk thistle, you're doing your moringa, you're doing your ashwagandha. You might be treating some gurmar leaf. You might be on some black seed oil. You know, there's so many different winning combinations. That A1C will drop. It will. So yes, the short answer is we do have a diabetes kit. And if you know someone has diabetes, I think there's a little less stigma around that condition where we can talk about it and people are more forthcoming in um, in saying it, because I suppose they say, well, they try to imply that. Well, I mean, they do say it's a lifestyle factor thing, but you know, it's not quite as causal as I think it should be in terms of the explanation of it. But yeah, we do have a kit that can help with that. The diabetes kit, it's on the website. If you want to, you can, you know, it's all discreet packaging when you do order. So it's not just going to have, you know, anti-herpes kit on the outside of the box or anti-diabetes kit or weight loss kit outside of the box. It will just have the herbs that are relevant there. So yeah, we do have that as well. What herbs? What herbs for menopause, for postmenopause? Yeah, so the postmenopause typically will be an extension of the symptoms during menopause, and these aren't menopause specific issues. These are just underlying chronic issues that menopause has, revealed. I say is the most accurate way to do it, or accurate way to explain it. Um, Sorry, Jay, are we still okay? We're still live on Facebook, right? Just because I'm seeing connectivity issues.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Um, oh, Brenda, I think was asking about the di. I wasn't midway through a question, was I? Sorry, a couple of points. So E tried placing an order. The discount code doesn't work. So it only applies to the healing kits. So if you go to the website and you say under to heal, there should be a section, a menu option that says healing kits, and then you can apply the code gift one to do that. If you're looking at the menopause kit or kits outside of that, that's not what this code is for. Um, okay, and then Brenda, so yeah, blood test about diabetes, you're borderline. Um, yeah, follow that advice and it will come right down, especially if you're borderline.
Question. What herbs help postmenopause?
What herbs help post menopause? I answered that one already. I just did answer. Oh, did I? Or maybe I got halfway through. Anyway, the menopause kit is what I'd recommend for you. So Shilajit, the lion's mane, the donquay. These are the herbs. That one already. Yeah, these are the herbs that are going to help most because they address all of the things that menopause disrupts. Donquay gives you that level of hormonal protection back. The Shilajit enhances the energy. The Shilajit helps with the brain fog. The Shilajit can also help with the joint pain as well. The lion's mane helps with the brain fog. The butterfly pea flower helps antioxidant is a powerful antioxidant for the entire system as well. So it all really helps come together. Um, okay, we'll probably do three more questions. Yeah, just because today's a bit more free flowing. Today's was always going to be a bit more of a shorter session, as well as that it is 2:30 here, and there's still quite a lot to do on my side. Do have to be up at 6 a.m. tomorrow as well, so gonna have to wrap it up short. So probably, huh?
Oh, and if I say tomorrow, it's not 4 hours.
Very true. Um, yeah, there's still like another hour of work to do to get today's video out, and then we need to be up in 3 hours. So, just going to do a few more, well, probably a couple more questions. The more I talking myself into what's actually to come, we'll do two more questions. So, apologies, you just lost the question. um, yeah, cool. Um,
Someone asked about nerve damage.
So for nerve damage, lots of different causes of potential nerve damage. Usually it's viral, mixed with heavy metals. Those are the two main things. So I say spirulina, I say black seed oil, nutmeg oil can help with the nerve pain. And then, yeah, lion's mane and brahmi are going to be your best options for regenerating nerves. Black seed oil protects the nerves, shilajit protects the nerves, but lion's mane and brahmi build nerves. And then you want spirulina to go after the heavy metals that can cause the nerve damage. Um, okay, so Kamani, what's the dosage of using lion's mane mushroom? So yeah, for an adult, and you can moderate that down if it's for a child, but I recommend half a teaspoon.
What teaspoons? Lion's mane.
Lion's mane, yeah, or a third of a teaspoon, really, 750 milligrams. Um, but if it's a healing dose, you can go up to 2 grams, which would just be a teaspoon. And that's if you've got something like a MS, ADHD, autism, um, really bad anxiety, really bad brain fog, Alzheimer's, and all of these conditions. I'd recommend bumping the dose up to 2 grams a day. Ordinarily, the maintenance dose would be, 0.75 to 1 gram. That's based on an adult. So if it's a child, then you'd want to moderate that down. Um, okay. What I have cystitis. What can I do? So that's inflammation of the bladder. Raspberry leaf is what I'd recommend most there. Raspberry leaf and black seed oil is what I'd recommend most. Ernst, how do I order from you? So you can order directly on TikTok Shop. if you're based in the UK. If you're not based in the UK, then the website is the best place to order, and you can find that in all the pages that we post from the website.
Sorry, how do you pronounce the name?
Ernst.
Ernest.
Is there not another E in Ernest?
No,
Ernst.
Ernest.
Ernst? Is it not Ernst?
Like EY is Ernest and Young, spelled that way.
Oh yeah, Ernst.
Yeah.
That's Ernst Young. It's not Ernest and Young. It's Ernst Young.
Oh, Ernest is
Ernst,
spelled that way.
could you clarify if I butchered your name? I'm in Africa. Yeah, let me know if I butchered your name. I don't know why TikTok's telling me to do a puzzle, but it's telling me to get off. But now I want to know if. I mean, Ernst, that doesn't help answer the question. Who's right? Me or so Jade's saying it's Ernest. I'm saying it's Ernst. So just let me know. Is it Lee or Jade? Who's right? Okay. So all right, I think we can wrap it up there. We'll start the wind down, and if any questions come in during the wind down, then I will. Thank you, Ernst. I know you said Africa in it, so it's probably not really American accent, but I'll take the win all the same. Um, okay. Um, okay, Kamani's asked, can we use green matcha in neural disorders, and can we use lion's mane in children? So first question, no. Second answer, yes. Do not use green matcha in neural disorders. Why? Because matcha is caffeine. What does caffeine do? Produce, well, yes. What does caffeine do? Produce cortisol. What does cortisol do? Burden the nerves. It's literally like pouring fuel on the fire. So when your nerves are inflamed, you want to calm them down. You want calming nerves. You want things like lion's mane because it supports the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the calming half of your system. It's the parasympathetic. Jay's not letting that one go. It's the parasympathetic nervous system, the calming side of your nervous system. So we do not want to be using a load of things that that stimulate the adrenal glands, because the adrenal glands is the stressful side of your nervous system, the sympathetic side of your nervous system. So the coffee, the matcha, the green tea, the Red Bulls, the Cokes, all of these things are making the situation worse. You want calming herbs even. So we want the lion's mane, we want the brahmi, we want the ashwagandha, we want the even maca root and things like that. These are all the helpful herbs. Avoid coffee. So and you can use nutmeg oil if you've got nerve pain as well. We will be launching a nerve pain kit soon. It's on the to-do list. Wollaston? Wollastonk. How to heal sciatica pain in the back. So yeah, sciatica is a herpes issue. It's caused by Epstein-Barr virus attacking inflamed nerve cells, usually from a physiological injury. So you want to be going after the sciatica, which is why I'd recommend our herpes healing kit. So that's got the licorice root, the oil of oregano, the black seed oil, and the sea moss. And then you also probably want to bolster that with spirulina, just to go after the heavy metals. You probably want to also bolster that with nutmeg oil, because nutmeg oil is a great pain reliever, and that sciatic pain can be terrible. So 6 herbs. Do you need all of them? No. In fact, to take one out, probably sea moss. You definitely want the licorice root. You definitely want the oil of oregano. You definitely want the black seed oil. You definitely want the spirulina. If you can deal with the pain, you don't necessarily need the nutmeg oil. The nutmeg oil will last a long time, so it's worth having. And the sea moss is in the nice to have bucket there. Is it possible for you to work out for me a combo that I can use for my nerve damage? Yeah, lion's mane, brahmi, shilajit, spirulina. That way, if I no, take out yeah. I'd start off with lion's mane and brahmi, and then I would do the shilajit and spirulina. I would alternate the shilajit with the black seed oil each month. I'd do that for 6 months. Because the lion's mane and the brahmi are the best nerve rebuilders. The shilajit is a neuroprotective, and it's just going to help everything else work. It's going to help keep your energy up. It's going to help with the inflammation. The spirulina is going to help knock down the heavy metals alongside the shilajit. Then we rotate the shilajit out for black seed oil because the black seed oil is going to help take out any potential viral issues that could be contributing to the nerve damage. I'd say if you are, dealing with a few different issues, or you want to go into that in more detail, you want a more detailed plan, I'd recommend you book a consultation. And then, depending on your other issues, I can say, well, yes, it's more likely a viral nerve degradation, or it's more likely heavy metals, or you don't have a nerve issue at all. It could be diabetes, it could be thyroid. I don't know, but yes, a consultation would be the best thing if it's more complex than that. Wally Stone, can I order these things from you? You were asking about the nerves. Yes, we do sell all those. Sciatic pain, wasn't it? We do sell all of those herbs for the sciatic pain. And if you go to the build your own bundle page on the website, you can add all of those individually to make your own kit.
Quick question. How long do I feel results? I buy Shilajit, I use almost 10 days, and I feel normal.
Yeah, 10 days isn't long enough. A lot of people actually feel worse in the first week with Shilajit because of its detoxing effect. So, depending on what Shilajit you bought as well, depending on your overall diet, and depending what you're actually trying to, feel the difference with. But for most people, it takes around 2 weeks to start to feel the impact, but the real impact comes after about a month. So 10 days, I would say, hold your breath, be patient, and it's a good sign you haven't got any worse before you get better. Roderick, number, no, all messages are through Instagram or also the website now. As I said, we receive a few thousand messages a day. At least that's what the data tells me. I didn't think it was that bad. It was a lot. I didn't realize it was 2,000 a day. So yeah, I would recommend to just go to the website and on the website use the chat function, and that's the best way to ask any direct questions there. But okay, we've gone over. So I'm actually going to wrap up here. I want to say thank you to everyone for joining. I want to say the Christmas gift set is now live. If anyone has any questions on that, please do message on Instagram. Sorry, message on the website. Don't message on Instagram. If you have received a message on Instagram, it's most probably from AI in the first instance. So just check to make sure. In most cases, it is very helpful. It is very helpful. We do have the buy one get one 50% off offer on healing kits. You just need to apply code GIFT1, I want to say, on all of the healing kits. If you want to book a consultation, consultations are also available on the website. I'm not sure if there's any slots available before the new year, but what I would say is they are all with me. We do work on finding the underlying pathogen. Yeah. We'll be back on Sunday. It's Wednesday today, isn't it? We'll be back on Sunday. We'll probably do more of a presentation style on Wednesday as opposed to this open format. But no, it's been fun. Appreciate all the questions. Appreciate the interaction. It always helps. A bit more personal today. So, it's Christmas time. So, hope everyone has a good holidays. I mean, we'll speak before then. I think Sunday might be the last session of the year. Oh, not the year, but of the before Christmas, because it's the 22nd. We won't be doing one on Christmas Eve, I don't think. And then then it'll be Sunday. Maybe we'll do one next Sunday. So it'll be this Sunday and then next Sunday. And then there'll be New Year's Eve. So it'll be this will be the last Wednesday session for the next couple of weeks. But yeah, everything will be posted. If you do have any questions, please do message on the website, and we're always here to help. If you want to apply for that job, please send us an email. If you have already applied, expect to hear back later this week. And I'll just say wish me luck trying to stay awake for the next 2 hours to get this video out for you guys. It's been a relentless schedule, but it's been a great journey. It's been a great few months. It's been a really what's the word? Interesting is what I could say. So yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. And we'll speak on Sunday.